Hey, happy Friday to all of you out there in social media world. This is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. No, I'm not live yet. For all I know is they've transferred me from Facebook jail to Facebook prison with a life sentence to shut me up from speaking the truth. But I shall not remain silent, and the truth, whether they like it or not, is going to be made known across this land, that my black brothers and sisters that have heritage of slaves that were brought here on those ships are actually the true Hebrews, the Israelites, the chosen people of the Most High. And your season of being oppressed and enslaved by my white ancestors, my white side of the family, is about to come to an end. And that is why I also have entitled this this little talk about rejoicing my black family for all that Trump is doing. And this is why. And so I want to start from the beginning here, that when America went and voted and casted their lot at the polls the last election, when they thought nobody was looking and they thought that they could in secret cast their vote towards Trump, there was somebody that was watching, and that is the Most High. And when my white family casted their lot for Trump because they desire for him to make America great again by making America white again, putting white supremacy back in complete power by getting rid of the minorities and having the slaves, my black brothers and sisters, submit once again to our slave mastery. That was the line. And so that line has been drawn, and my white family has casted their lot. And so now, in these months and years that are taking place, that transition is going to happen, just like the transition that took place when your ancestors were being made known to Pharaoh and the Egyptians when all of the plagues began to hit Egypt, and yet they did not touch the Hebrews. And so I really believe that season is upon us. And as those plagues begin to come, white America will either, at that time, individuals will repent and acknowledge and repay, or they will stay on the other side of that line and they will fall into destruction. And the destruction that is going to come about on white America is exactly what Trump is putting into play. So the first thing, as I was thinking about Trump, I thought about confusion and the disorder that is in the White House. And 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God, or the Most High is not a God of confusion, but of peace." So you already know that God, or the Most High, is not involved in that White House. And then I was brought to 1 Samuel 14, verses 20 and 23. And it says, "Then Saul and all his men assembled and went to the battle. They found the Philistines in total confusion, striking each other with their swords. Those Hebrews who had previously been with the Philistines and had gone up with them to their camp went over to the Israelites who were with Saul and Jonathan. And when all the Israelites who had hidden in the hill country of Ephraim heard that the Philistines were on the run, they joined the battle in hot pursuit. So on that day the Lord saved Israel, and the battle moved on beyond Beth Aven." But the verse that I really wanted you to remember in here is that the Philistines, in total confusion, began striking themselves each other with their sword. And as you know, that white America refuses to make any type of law or make any type of ordinances to take away the sword, which today, aka, is their gun. So don't be discouraged when white America wants to allow white America and white Americans the freedom to carry the gun. That is the sword. And even Yeshua said himself in the New Testament that when you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So the confusion that is happening in the camp, in the White House, amongst the white Americans, is the confusion that with the sword or the gun that they refuse to lay down will bring destruction upon themselves. You're already seeing hints of it. You're seeing hints of it in the school systems. These schools that have mass shootings are mass shootings done by the very hands of white America. So what Trump is or is not doing in this case, yes, there will be some pain and there will be some loss in the transition. But this transition is moving towards your release, not to further oppression. So rejoice in knowing that there's confusion in the camp of the White House. And with that confusion and their desire to even live more and more by the sword means, according to the word of the Most High, they will die by that sword. And they will die by that sword because they will end up, like the Philistines, striking each other. The other thing that we look at is his taking away the Social Security, taking away welfare, taking away all these programs that he thinks is only set up for our minority groups of individuals, which the reality is welfare, there's more whites on welfare than there are black brothers and sisters. But again, my people or people perish for a lack of knowledge. So let them believe the lies or the stereotypes that they want to believe, because that very lack of knowledge is bringing destruction upon themselves. So as Trump takes away Social Security and welfare and all of these beneficial programs that he thinks and that his followers think are set up for the minorities, he's actually taken away the very things that will keep his own people, white America, alive or breathing or above water once the transition happens. Because if you look at Egypt, after all those plagues took place, what type of state do you think they were in? So Esther 7:10 said, so they hung Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. See, white America is preparing gallows for the minorities and you, my black brothers and sisters, in every way they can. But what they don't recognize is that they will hang themselves on the own gallows of this society that they're creating and building. Why? Because did these plagues and did these hardships hit the Hebrews while they were under the Egyptians? Absolutely not. The other reason why I say to you, my chosen people of the Most High, to rejoice in all that Trump is doing, I've already kind of alluded this, is that my people are going to reap what they sow. That is biblical. They are now about to reap everything they have sowed for at least 400 years, not only to you, but also to all the other people and countries of this world. My dogs like to get crazy at times every time I try to get into something that I don't want to be disturbed. But my people are about to reap what we have sowed. We are the people that have been evil. We are the people that have gone into nations and countries, and we have slaughtered and raped and murdered to conquer. We have overtaken by the sword, and we continue to maintain by the sword, not by the hand of the Most High, but by the hands of ourselves of the sword. And in Matthew 26:52, Jesus or Yeshua said himself, put away your sword. Those who use the sword will die by the sword. So why do I say to you, my black brothers and sisters, you Israelites, Hebrews, the chosen of the Most High, to rejoice in all that Trump is doing? I'm asking you to rejoice in all that he is doing, for he is setting up and preparing as a leader his followers to release and have to give up their control and to reap what they've sowed into your lives for 400 years. And on the other side of that now means that we, as I'm a grafted in person, those who are on the other side, those who know who the true chosen people of the Most High are, we Hebrews, you Hebrews, it is time for us to go through our camp and prepare our businesses, build our communities, so that when that transition of wealth is handed over, we on this side of the line will be prepared to move on to the promised land. And so with that, I say rejoice to you, my chosen, precious, beautiful people of the Most High, and all that Trump and his followers are doing. For they are ushering in and bringing in the judgment of the Most High that is set up to set you free. Your time is up, whether they want to hear it, whether they want to recognize it, and regardless of how far they try to run, they will not escape it unless they acknowledge, repent, and repay. I hope this brings some encouragement to you, but it brought some definite encouragement to me, not because I'm one that has suffered as you have, but as one who has spent 24 years now watching the people that I love so much, my black brothers and sisters who I now know are the chosen, suffer underneath the hands of my white family. And then knowing that my white family refuses to acknowledge or to accept the truth. But I thank the Most High that he has opened my physical eyes and my spiritual heart to see the truth, so that I too can be set free. So hit me up on my Facebook page or go to my webpage, onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. And give me some feedback. And until we connect again, remember who you are and remember where you are now going. And may you be encouraged in this time of transition as you move from the tail to the head. And as you go from being oppressed and enslaved to free, to be who the Most High created you to be. Take care and shalom. Hey, happy Friday to all of you out there in social media world. This is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. No, I'm not live yet. For all I know is they've transferred me. Well, hello to all of you out there in social media world. This is, yes, Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. Awaiting the major snowstorm that is supposed to hit us already. My area here in the city, Midway, is supposed to get 8 to 10 inches. Other places are supposed to get more. So it hasn't quite yet started. It's raining like everything, but hopefully it will stay there. But if not, I guess we're going to have a nice long winter. I also want to say a special thank you and appreciation out to all of my Hebrew brothers and sisters. Even to those of you that don't necessarily find me your friend or are one of my supporters in a good way. I say thank you to you. And my appreciation for for weathering everything that you've had to weather from my people. And just to be able to not go in and go postal, as so often my white Gentile family members do after a couple of years of bullying. And I'm not trying to make light of anything, but just to think of how you have endured so much and yet refrain from a behavior, a massively destructive or just a destructive behavior, is amazing to me. And that's why I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I understand also those that do not bid me well. But in spite of your bidding and in spite of anything of your opinions and things that you send me, I was called to do this by the Most High. And I'm not going to sit down until He tells me to sit down and shut up. And what is to come, I don't fear, because if I'm in the hands of the Most High, I can't believe that any place He takes me is going to be a regret. And that is why I continue to do what I'm doing and why I have done what I have done for 24 years before you see me pop up here on YouTube. And that is to be an advocate of justice to my black brothers and sisters in this country, which now I know most of you are actually the chosen people of the Most High. And thank you to those that have reached out to me with encouragement emails, text messages. I want you to know that I take each and every single one of them with great humility and appreciation. And they mean so much to me. And I apologize that some of you that have written me longer emails, and I'm grateful for them. Sometimes you say, I'm so sorry I'm going so long, but I want to hear your stories. Your life is important to me. But please don't take it offensively if my response is short. Because I always want to try to acknowledge each and every single one of you that take the time to contact me, to let you know how much I appreciate that. But tonight, I saw a video. I put it on my Facebook page, and I'm going to try to connect it so it's here so you can watch it. But it was a video of people running next to, like, the wall. You saw the American flag in the background, running, and in some of the translation and stuff, I guess there were tear gas and rubber bullets being shot at the caravan of our fellow brothers and sisters who are coming from down south there. And in there, it also said, like, protect the children. And it makes me weep. If not on the outside, it makes me weep on the inside. Because I can't understand, I can, but I just cannot understand how most of my people, my white Gentile family members, want to call themselves followers of God or followers of Jesus Christ with the attitude that they have. And I wanted to read this one comment underneath this video, and it said, "Stupid people, what you expect if you try to go into a country illegally? Exactly like you broke into or break into someone's property." And I read that type of crap, and I see that type of attitude, and all I can do is say, wow, there's not even words for me to even be able to express that type of arrogance or pride that comes from somebody to say, what a bunch of stupid people. What do they expect if they break into a country illegally? It's like if you want to break in and steal somebody's property. My question is, how the hell did our ancestors get this country? Did we come and make friends? Did we come to be an asset? Did we come to be a team member? Did we come to join and say, hey, let's work together and make America great? We came here illegally and we took what we wanted through bloodshed, through devastation. And then yet today we want to have the audacity to tell other people who the hell they think they are to try to come into this country illegally and take something that doesn't belong to them, when I'm still trying to question you in who does this country belong to? Who did it belong to? And that is why my title of the message tonight is, White America, you build that wall. You better build that wall, and you better build it quick. Why? Because there's a philosophy that I was taught in my Christian walk, and even more so as a growing up in rural Minnesota, where the main jobs or what we were known for was our farming and our farms, not just dairy farms or hog farms, but grain farms. And I grew up learning from my family members who were farmers that the principle of you reap what you sow. And that is why some of my family members would look to say, see, we've made it because when we sowed our seeds, we walked the fields first of all and picked up the rock, and then we planted the seed, and then when the seed began to grow and sprout, we would walk those fields, and I did it for many summers, and we would by hand go down and pick up all those weeds for miles and miles and acres of acres. Why? Because my aunts and my uncles and the farmers in my family would tell me that if you want to produce a harvest that is great, you got to work the field. You got to use your hands. You got to pull those weeds, those rocks, and anything and everything that would hinder our seed of corn or bean from growing. Because when you do and you harvest it, the weeds haven't choked out some of your crop. The rocks hasn't caused the seed not to grow because they can't root themselves. And when they harvest it, there's not garbage that's being harvested with your crop, such as weeds, that brings down the price per bushel of your beans or corn when you go to sell it. So you put in the work knowing that you will reap what you sow and how you take care of what you sow. And yet my white evangelical family cannot or will not understand that same principle when it comes to what? How we have obtained this land, how we have kept this land, and how we have treated others who we have brought to this land and who we have kept from this land. And we don't think that at one point we're going to reap what we sow. Why is it even in the white Christian realm, especially the conservative ones, that say that America is going to suffer because of abortion and homosexuality? So you're saying to me that God is going to judge us because of those two sins while he completely overlooks the sin of murder, rape, slavery, and oppression? So I say, white America, you build that wall. Build it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of some dimensions and stuff from the wall that was built around Jericho to protect them. And even to back up one step back, Galatians 6, 7, and 9 says, do not be deceived, for God is not mocked, for whosoever a man soweth, or whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh, flesh of pride, flesh of arrogance, flesh of superiority over everybody else, shall of the flesh reap corruption. It's all over. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we not faint. In that due season, we knew every time, every season, fall came. Whether we were ready for that season to come or not, it came. And we would reap however we did as that journey went on in the growing of our fields and seeds in that process. And so I say, white America, you better build that wall. You better build it big. Because there was another city that built a wall and had a huge wall around it by the name of Jericho. And it says this in Joshua 6:20. So the people shouted with the priests, and they blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. So that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him. And they took the city, and they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. See, the reality is this to my white family. You can go ahead and build that wall. But the reality check is this. We will harvest what we've sown as we have believed and as we teach and as we preach. And therefore, since we have lived also by the sword, we will die by that same sword. It even happened here in Jericho. So, let's look at this wall. It says that when they looked into this wall, it was a stone wall 11 feet high and 14 feet wide. At its top was a smooth stone slope, angling upward at 35 degrees for 35 feet, where it joined massive stone walls that towered even higher. It was virtually impregnable. But see, the issue to my white family members here, it's not about the physical wall. Because the physical wall will not protect us from the judgment to bring justice and to bring freedom to his people. Because see, Jericho was an obstacle in the way of the chosen people of the Most High to obtain the promises of their Father that they would inhabit the promised land. Our pride and our arrogance, our physical wall, our rules, everything that we have put together, even President Trump wanting to do an army and a military in space. Great, go ahead, build it, do what you want to do. But the issue is none of that is going to stand in the way of the Most High fulfilling his promises. Number one, to get his people and to put them into freedom, which he had promised. And then number two, to give us what we have sown. Because the power of God, I put, is supernatural, beyond our comprehension. And see, sometimes that's what my people don't realize or haven't tapped into, is how powerful of God, Yah, that we say we serve. We go to church so often because we believe God is honored and that he should be honored when we walk into that church. We don't walk into that church because we actually submit our lives to him. And we also believe that God wouldn't bring this type of judgment upon us because he ordained white superiority. That was all a part of his plan. And that is why we think that we are impregnable, that we will never be defeated, that we will never be brought down, because we are the great white America. And Trump is there to make it obvious and allow us, once again, to make it obvious to who we are. Being politically correct is no longer necessary when it comes to how we view, how we speak, and about you, my black brothers and sisters. But again, America, white America, you can build that wall. But remember, Jericho had a wall that was much greater than the wall that you're about to build. And if it didn't protect them from fulfilling the promises of the Most High to his people, do you really think this wall is going to protect us today? Do you really think anything is going to protect us? Because the problem is not what's on the outside of the great white America. The problem is what's on the inside. And even Yeshua, or Jesus Christ, made it very clear to the Pharisees that it's not about you being these nice robed white, because he said you are whitewashed sepulchres, whitewashed toilets. The inside of you is filth. And that is why I'm going to reject you. That is why white America is going to be rejected, because number one, we've enslaved the people of the Most High, and so we're going to reap what we have sown unto them. And number two, we haven't repented and take a look at our own filth that lies within inside of us, and to repent and to change and now repay those that we have done wrong to. So the issue again is not what's on the outside of America. It's what's here on the inside. Do I fear? I do not fear. Because long before I came into this truth, the Most High told me to study Joshua and to study the book of Joshua. And in that he told me that all the days of my life no one would be able to stand up against me. As I was with Moses, he said to Joshua, so I will also be with you, my son. And that is why even those of you that don't like what I do or have issues with what I'm doing, I'm okay with that. Because the Most High has promised me years ago that he would never allow anyone to stand up against me all the days of my life if I'm doing what he has asked me to do. And that's why I know no one will be able to stand up against you, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, when your due season comes, because the promise is that the promised land is for you, and I get to go because of you. So if that promise he has made to me, I know he's definitely made it for you, because I know where I'm going. I'm going with you. Just like Rahab. Just like Rahab. She said that she had heard of the great things, and even the people in the city of Jericho knew, and that's why they shut all the doors and they shut down, because they were fearful for what they knew was coming. And my white family evangelicals are going to do the same, as you see it already. They're not understanding what it means, what is coming, but they know something is wanting to change, putting them in a place they don't want to go, nor will they willingly go, which is submission to anybody other than themselves. My people don't know how to submit, and that's why they don't really know what it means to even submit to God anymore. Their God, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. And yes, I use these different terms because my videos are used for different groups of people. And if I speak only Yah and Yeshua, then my white Gentiles, when they begin to open up their hearts to be at least listen to these videos, they'll know who I am talking to and about when I say Yah, God, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. So be encouraged, my Hebrew brothers and sisters. And thank you so much that I get to tag along And that is why, like Rahab, I am willing to do whatever the Most High calls me to do. She was asked to hide your ancestors. Right now, I'm not being asked to hide you. But at this point in my life, I'm called to declare you. But for the first 24 years, I was called to advocate, to learn, to understand, to do whatever the Most High asked me to do to bless who I now know is His chosen people. So I'm not cleaving onto you now simply because I don't want to face what others in my heritage are going, or my white family are going to face. If I was only going to hold on to you for safety, I would have skipped the first 24 years of the hell that I've gone through from both sides of my family members in living and ministering and advocating and standing up for justice for those in my community, in my youth groups that came to the church, that walk into my school classrooms. I did it because I saw injustice and it broke my heart. But now I understand where that injustice comes from. It's because you're the chosen people of the Most High. And now, not only am I going to fight for justice, not only am I going to advocate, not only will I hide you if I need to or speak up for you now as I am doing, but I will do whatever the Most High tells me to do. And I know, like Rahab, and that means I have to be a servant or a slave amongst the chosen people of the Most High, who then will be set in a path of righteousness. Hey, have I not been serving for these first 24 years? Has it been great? It's been the opposite of great. But it's been an honor and it's been a privilege, as it is now. And so in closing, I want to say again to my white family members, go ahead, build that wall. You better build that wall. You need more than a wall, but go ahead and do whatever you feel necessary to protect your white supremacy. But see, even your God is not restricted or constricted to a wall or to anything that we think we can put our hands to build or to make or to create. But on the other side, to my black brothers and sisters who know and will come to know that you are the chosen people of the Most High, be encouraged to know that nothing that my family members, my white family members are doing are going to keep you from entering into your promised land, into freedom, outside of oppression, outside of white supremacy, into a place of justice, and then into a place where you will rule as kings and queens, as you were created to by the very hands of the Most High. So, one thing I also want to say to you, and I'm closing, is I have a web page right here, onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. One of the things I want to do, you can contact me on there, and please do so. Please contact me on there. Also, if you want to pick up a One Love t-shirt and support the movement, please do. You can order them online. But one of the things I really want to do is I'm going to have a tab on there, because I am blessed to get various Hebrew brothers and sisters coming to me with music that they have written, clothing that they are creating and making, and all kinds of Hebrew ministers and congregations. And I get lots of people that email me asking me, do you know somebody here that I can join a congregation? Do you know somebody here that their eyes are open to the truth? And what I want to do with my website is I want to have a tab where people can, such as yourself, can go to this tab and find fellowships. They can find teachings on YouTube. They can listen to some of my brothers and sisters and buy the music that you are creating, the clothing that you are making, so that we can support the family of the Most High, so that we can support each other, so that our finances can go to each other with the things that the Most High has given us to be able to make and to create and to sell. So if you are somebody out there, I don't care if you're a doctor, I don't care if you're a lawyer, a teacher, a pastor, you're selling T-shirts. I'm not in competition with those that are selling T-shirts. I don't care if somebody says, "Hey, One Love T-shirt's pretty cool, but man, I like this brother's T-shirts." That's all right. Because my blessing comes from the Most High. He provides for me. He has to provide for me. Because if He doesn't provide for me, I will have nothing. And so I'm not in competition. Not trying to get somebody to buy my T-shirt over BB, who's the guy that created my logo. And I bought some of his shoes, and he's featured on my website. Do you think I'm going to be sad that somebody would like his clothes better than my T-shirt and buy his shirt, that I'm going to lose out on a blessing from the Most High because somebody bought something other than mine? No. I have to believe that the Most High is going to provide for me to do the work that He's called me to do. And it may be through somebody like you buying a T-shirt. It may be from one of you making a donation and supporting the work that I do. Right now, it's also through the job that I work. I just know that the Most High has been faithful. And if He's been faithful to me as one that was not originally and is not His true chosen, I can't wait to see your faces and all that when you start to live where you don't have to face oppression and turmoil and torture and fear on a daily, moment by moment basis. That you can live your life in freedom, enjoying the promises of the Most High due to your faithfulness and His love for you. So to my Hebrew brothers and sisters, please hold on. Please hold on and know that your redemption to freedom is so close that even my people are building a wall and creating a space force to fight against what they really don't recognize is the very hand of the Most High, Yah. Thank you so much for tuning in, and may you be blessed richly in the favor, the grace, and love of the Most High, Yah. Shalom. Hey, happy Wednesday night to all of you out there in social media world. This is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. I specifically want to put always a special shout out there to my Hebrew family members. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your emails and your kind words. I cherish every single one of them. I actually have one Hebrew mentor, and he sends me emails all the time, and I have put them together as a binder where I turn to them on a regular basis. And so that's how much I appreciate your emails, and I try to get back to each and every single one of you. But Tonight, as I was just kind of chilling, as I can say, on the sofa, I saw a commercial, and it was honoring our troops overseas, and then went on to explain, how we should be grateful that our troops are overseas defending against an enemy so that we as America can remain free and where we are today. And then it just hit me on the heart, if you want to say, that immediately I thought, but yet the commander-in-chief in this nation ridicules them and degrades them on a regular basis. And it's because of the heart. And what amazes me is that the conservatives are seeing this display of disrespect and not standing up against it as they would have even if President Obama had thought of not going to the cemetery. But why? Because the leader of this nation resembles the heart of the nation, and therefore this president displays the heart of this nation, which is white America. And when you think about it, my grandparents used to talk to me about how their sons and daughters went off to Vietnam to fight, and when they came back, they were not respected whatsoever, so they were fighting a war but disrespected, and how that at that time I think was completely across all racial and color lines. And so now again, you're only seeing the heart of this nation, and it's always resembled by the leader, and we know who they have created to be king. And so if you know, a few years ago, I did a video called "The Thoughts on the Killings of Our Black Men," and I correlated Egypt with America, not knowing really the depth of what that correlation meant at that time. And so tonight, I felt like there's also that came back to correlate the king of this country, Trump, with the Pharaoh of Egypt. And the correlation that caused both those great empires to collapse was not the enemies from the outside, but it was the condition of the heart of the leader on the inside. But especially today, that leader only represents and resembles the heart of white America. And that is what caused their empire to fail, because they refused to bow down to the true, one and only living God, Yah, the Most High. So here Pharaoh is wanting to put to death all of the Hebrew baby boys, but the midwives said no. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egypt woman, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. And so I correlated even how America is doing that, and has been doing that to you, our black men, from the correctional facilities, slavery, all the way to now, shoot and kill. That represents being a young black man dumped into the Nile River to drown. We don't have that Nile River, so we shoot you. But all of that resembles the heart of the king, which due to this treatment of the Most High's people, of the Hebrews, and the hardening of the heart of the Pharaoh, you combine those issues together and you have destruction. And America is going to self-destruct from the bomb that has been placed in the heart of this nation, which is the heart of the leader, which is the heart of the people, which is not of the true and living God, or Yah, the Most High. And when time is up, that's where the destruction comes. Because remember, when Rahab repented and acknowledged and acted, repentance means that she heard of this God of the Hebrews. That's what she told the spies. She said then she began to fear, which I believe she began to believe that he is what she's hearing. And then she repented. And then she went into action by protecting. And white America is going to have to do those same things if they want to be saved from the fall of the nation. They're going to have to acknowledge that we are not following the true and one living Most High Yah, God. That we have belief systems in there in the way that we also treat our black brothers and sisters, the true Hebrews, as wrong. So there's got to be some repentance. And then there's got to be a change in their behavior where they begin to protect you and they begin to pay back that which we have stolen from you. Because in this story, those Gentiles that I believe it represents are like the midwives. Because they feared God, because they began to fear Yah, they're going to be a midwife where they will not take your life but protect you. And all of that is the separating of those that will repent and acknowledge and repay and be saved just as Rahab, or will they be individuals that will harden their heart to continue to follow the heart of the leader, which ultimately brought Egypt to its knees. But I was just typing this one last thought, and I said, but the problem is that I can't see a majority of my Gentile family members bowing down to the reality, number one, that Yahshua did not look and does not look as we have portrayed him, and that the original chosen people of the Most High are you, my black brothers and sisters, are those of you that have darker skin tone than we, us white Gentiles. The very people we have counted worthless and should have been grateful for us enslaving you to make you who you are actually now coming into the truth that you had the truth of the Most High Yah way before we did. And now we need to learn from you because we've got some things wrong. And to repent, to acknowledge that, is going to be a big pill for my white family to swallow. And see, and that's why white America is trying to build the wall and everything, the space force, to protect them. Because they're in fear. But the reality is none of that will protect them, because what has brought down white Americans even today, it's white gunmen going into their white schools or going into areas of our nation and blowing people away. Because their hearts are hardened. So, do I believe that they will humble themselves much like a Rahab? Some. But until that time, just know, to you, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, that you are the chosen of the Most High. You are the true people of the Most High Yah, and He is truly preparing for your deliverance, your freedom into being able to live your life as that of the promised land. Everything that was promised to you is coming. And the signs, and I know you know the signs already. You know the signs. So may I only be somebody that speaks to my people, my white family, I want to say, to repent and to hear what I have to say, but to encourage you to confirm what you already know, and that we can rejoice, those of us that the Most High has afflicted our hearts with love towards his true chosen people. We can then begin to rejoice with you, because we already know what it means to live free of oppression. I know what it's like to live free of that type of oppression. And I can't imagine what it must be like to never be able to live that way. And when I see you achieve great things and you rejoice, but you're always rejoicing under fear and oppression. And to know that I can rejoice in my life for those same things, that I don't even have to work as hard as you do to get there. That you don't know the level of what that freedom is, because unfortunately my people, my white Gentile family members, have not allowed you to. And so I break with pain when I know what you really could be feeling. But I know that you're not, because of what my family members have and are doing to you. And then yet, some of you are willing to forgive me, to not only tolerate me, but to encourage me and motivate me, and then thank me for something that I should be saying, and I do say, thank you. Thank you for what you've gone through just to tolerate me, to even go to the point of loving on me. And that is so incredible. So, you know, when these things drop into my spirit, I can't contain them. But as always, connect with me if you want. www.onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. There's a contact form there. You know, put your questions, put your agreements, your disagreements. Go ahead, whatever you would like to say. I was going to do another video with something there, but I'm going to do that tomorrow, because I get an overwhelming amount of my supporters that encourage me regarding my not so much supporters. But I want to also share with them where I come from on some of my willingness to entertain them. And I don't mean entertain them like a puppet, but to give them my ear. So I'll do that in the next day or so. But other than that, be encouraged. Be encouraged and know that the Most High is letting us Gentiles, some of us Gentiles, know that who you really are and what's right around the corner. So be encouraged and know that the Most High is for you. And hold on. All right? Thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to having a conversation with you again sometime soon. Shalom. Bye-bye.
Notorious Luciferian who openly praised Lucifer in his book Moral and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Pike was also a general for the Confederacy during the Civil War, and a wizard of occult magic, channeling and summoning of spirits. William Carr documented that Albert Pike wrote a letter to a friend in 1871 outlining the final and largest of the wars. According to Carr, what Albert Pike actually wrote was a lot more than a letter. It was a blueprint that spelled out exactly what would happen in the last war. Carr said, quote, "In the 1860s, Albert Pike is recorded as saying his military program might take 100 years or a little longer to reach the day when those who direct the conspiracy at the top will crown their leader king despot of the entire world and impose a Luciferian totalitarian dictatorship upon what is left of the human race." That's what they're saying. Pike seems to indicate a conspiracy to start a war so that the Antichrist can ascend to his position as world ruler. Pike's letter ironically also detailed the specifics of the first two wars with stunning accuracy, suggesting that he knew before time the details surrounding each of the wars. World War I, according to Pike, would be fought to overthrow the czars in Russia and change Russia into a communist state. The Second World War would be fought for two reasons: to establish the State of Israel and to expand communist control over Europe. The Third World War will be what allows the Novus Ordo Seclorum to rise out of the dust. According to Pike, Islam will be the central factor in the downfall of the West. Islam will be decimated in the process, allowing for the new religion of pure Luciferianism to spread on the earth. All Muslims will fall for this system. There isn't a single Muslim on earth who will not partake in the religion of the New World Order, according to Pike. Islam is merely a tool to destroy the Christian West. That's it. That's all it is. It's a tool. That's what they said hundreds of years ago.
So this devil named Albert Pike, along with the rest of his Luciferian buddies, conjured up a plan during the 1800s, hundreds of years ago, for all three wars. All three wars. Y'all hear me, saints? These people are on a mission. These Luciferians, they are on a mission to try to destroy the Most High and the chosen people of the Most High. That's their mission. That is their goal. That's what they want to accomplish. Why do you think they kept our identity hid from us for all this time? They know this stuff, and the Most High is allowing them to go so far. And the Most High is going to show these devils who they're messing with. Oh, we ain't seen nothing yet. We ain't seen nothing yet. Now, this decision of Trump announcing Jerusalem as the capital couldn't have come at a better time, because what Trump did, and I call him Agent Orange. So what Agent Orange did, he was just following the instructions of his Luciferian slave masters. That's it. That's what he was doing. It was time. The time was right, and it was time to make that announcement. Now, let me show you what the news media did not put on your big networks like CNN, Fox. This is stuff you have to dig for. You got to dig for this stuff. After Trump made the decision to announce Jerusalem, there was all kind of rage. And I never saw this video before, and I was looking for something like this. So finally I found it. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy, but they don't want to show us. They don't want the media to show us. It's out there. You just have to really search for it. So here it is. This is crazy, saints. Unbelievable. And we're seeing this prophecy fulfilled right before our very eyes. Now, this took place, this was recorded on December 8th. Just imagine, it's December 27th right now. Just imagine what it's like across the globe. It's chaos, brothers and sisters. It's off the chain. And it's going to get worse. Well, I'm going to say it's going to get better for us because we know that the time of the Gentiles is here. So this whole thing was planned out by these Luciferians hundreds of years ago. That's what they wanted to do for this last war, was to get the Islamic against the Zionists. That's going to be some amazing stuff. And I know, and I've been saying this for a long time, I truly believe Iran's going to mess around and nuke Israel. I could be wrong, but the tensions are high. And we're going to talk about this military lineup here pretty soon, but tensions are high, brothers and sisters. The logistics of World War III has already started already. Armies are lining up their forces everywhere. Man, well, we're living in some exciting times. Let's talk about these wars and rumors of wars. Wars has been going on ever since 200 years since Yeshua was on the scene. You had your Arabia Wars, which was the neighboring countries of the Roman Empire who were warring against them, and that was part of the breakup of the Roman Empire. You had your French Revolution, you had your British War, you had your Civil War with America, you had the Alamo War with the Mexicans, you had World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, Iraq 2013. All these wars and rumors of war have been going on for a very long time, brothers and sisters. So let's go to Matthew 24 and verse 6. I'm going to read verse 6 and 7. And it says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places." Are we not seeing these things? And these things have been going on for a while, brothers and sisters. We're way past this point. But let's get something else. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, because I want to show you something similar. Alright, let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 13, and we're going to read verses 29 through 31. And it says, "Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth," meaning his chosen people. "And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth." Verse 31. "And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another." Now, did we not just read this in Matthew 24? Nation shall rise against nation. It's getting ready to go down, brothers and sisters. Do we not see the nations warring against one another right now in all kind of logistical battles? Let me give you an example. Take the petrodollar. How many of y'all know what the petrodollar is? So for those of you who don't know what the petrodollar is, it's what America trades in oil. It's like American dollars, but back in 1971, it was an agreement that any country trading in oil must trade in petrodollars. Well, that was only because of greed and control of the U.S. But now that these other countries have gained and finding nothing, we're talking about billions are getting ready to die. And this whole build up to World War III, see, that's the end game. World War III is the end game. Once World War III starts, brothers and sisters, the real war, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. There's no turning back. Because y'all imagine the nuclear weapons they got now. Now the two bombs they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that wasn't nothing. Those are like little firecrackers compared to what we got now. That was like over 70 years later. Look how advanced we've gotten. They got this bomb, this nuclear bomb that Russia has. Is called the Satan. That thing can destroy the whole state of Texas in one setting. We're living in a time of some powerful weapons, brothers and sisters. And I want to show you something with this blue beam, because that's another thing. These folks are getting ready to try to deceive the masses with this blue beam. They know we waking up. They know that we know who we are as a people. And the gig is up on this white Jesus, because it's done. It's a wrap. But they're going to try to use this Project Blue Beam to try to imitate this rapture. They're going to make this white Jesus appear out of the sky, so people can believe. I'm going to show you a little clip on it so y'all can see what this blue beam can do. That's crazy, y'all. They got some crazy stuff out here. Check out this clip. That was crazy, wasn't it, Saints? I'm telling y'all, they got some technology out there that'll blow your mind away. And this is actually old technology. This Project Bluebeam has been around since the 70s. They've been working on this stuff for a while. You really think that the world leaders, the powers that be, you think that they're gonna just tell the publicly, hey, we got this new technology out now? No, they're gonna keep it to themselves because they wanna reveal it to the masses because they know the masses will be deceived. Now you have some people who know about this stuff, but for the most part, people are gonna be deceived. And these people have been looking for a white Jesus to come out the sky all this time, and they're about to get it. And they're gonna be amazed, but it's not gonna be the real one. So these people, they got some stuff out there, brothers and sisters. So these devils, the powers that be, they're getting ready to try to deceive the masses. But don't be fooled, saints. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9. Let me show you what it says. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing, brothers and sisters. And they've been doing it ever since. Like, they've been really increasing it since 2015. Different parts of the world, they've been displaying this kind of stuff, making people think they're seeing UFOs and all this kind of stuff. They've been playing with their toys for a while now, all over the place. So, and also, the Most High told us not to learn the way of the heathens, nor be dismayed by the signs of heaven, in Jeremiah 10:2. Why? Because the Most High is not sending us signs through the heavens. The Most High has already given us everything through His Word, brothers and sisters. So Hebrews, if you're the type of person that you're into all these signs in the heavens, don't do it, because that's not the way of the Most High. The Most High gave us His Word. That's where you need to be at, is in the Word, not worrying about what's going on in these skies, because that's all coming from Satan. That's the lying wonders of these devils, what they're trying to do to trick people. And they're going to fool a lot of people. And all this they want to do, and this is all leading up to the war. It's all leading up to World War III. And brothers and sisters, I can't stress enough, literally, we are living in the last seconds. I don't even think we realize how close we are to this thing that's getting ready to fall. This place, all these world leaders, everything, all of it, is coming to an end. And it's all because of us. Hallelujah. Let me just give you a visual how close we are to the Most High's return. Now, y'all remember Daniel 2, the image? We're talking about the four great world empires. You had Babylon, you had Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. And then the feet were of miry clay, partly clay and iron. Now that's the European Union. Now, if y'all haven't noticed, did y'all notice sometime back ago, the British, they poured out of the Britics? Now that's a big deal. They made a big deal about that too. So that's part of the not coming together, the clay and the iron, because the European Union, they're fighting amongst one another right now. They can't seem to come together. But this was prophesied in Daniel chapter 2. And we're seeing it now. And especially with the other countries starting to trade with the yuan, the Chinese yuan, from the petrodollar. That's causing a lot of heat right now. So the pressure's on. But see, this is the thing, brothers and sisters. They're not going to come out and tell you publicly that the American dollar is struggling. They're not going to do that because they want to fool the masses. They don't care about that. They want to make sure that they secure their own needs. These elites, Illuminatis, the powers that be. So the Most High is getting ready to break them. Now I want to tell y'all something. Have y'all noticed a heavily increase in military exercises all over the world? It's been increasing. Now you can look at news articles, you can pull it out. It's out there, brothers and sisters. I'm talking about, I've never seen an increase of military exercise like this. This is why I'm saying that the World War III has already started logistically. They're lining up their forces all over Russia, putting their forces, and they're labeling them as drills. That's what they're calling them. They're calling them drills. But they're practicing real-time war scenarios, as though if something could break off at any moment, they'll be ready. They'll have their equipment, they'll have their weapons, all their ammunition, everything that they need. But so I'm telling you, this thing is hitting heavy. So this is a lineup I created for y'all to see, give you a visual. So the allies, right now, you have USA, you have Israel, you have South Korea, Japan, and Canada, and a few other smaller ones. And then on the right, you have Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and Syria. So those are your main heavy hitter allies. Now, everybody else in between, you know, they can join either side at any time. That's what I'm saying. When the Most High says that nation shall turn against nation, a lot of these people are going to jump ship, and they don't know. They're not going to know who to fight, because they're going to be trying to fight one another, and it's going to be chaos, y'all. But this is the allied lineup right here. This is what they're going for. And now you know the whole rhetoric between Trump and North Korea, all that stuff has been going on constantly. But their military buildup has been there, and it's increased over the months. I mean, it's crazy, but nobody's paying attention to it. No one's seeing it. So I'm sharing this with you, brothers and sisters, because I want you to see the significance of this thing. We are close. We can literally go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow, we'd be in World War III. It just is that sudden, you know. I'm not saying it's going to pop off like that, but we just never know. You know, we're living in a time where it's so unpredictable right now, it's not even funny. This third war is going to be so severe that once it starts, ain't no stopping it. Now, you know the Most High is going to deliver his people in that hour. The Most High is not going to allow his people to be destroyed by this war. Now, if you read the last two books of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and 16, it talks about this war. But I want to bring attention to a particular script that describes the horror that's going to be on this earth, brothers and sisters, when this war hits for the heathen. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and I want to read verse 22 through 31. This is a mouthful. This is heavy stuff. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and of other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." Wow, that's going to be serious. Verse 23, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth, and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of the city there should be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rock. As an orchard of olives upon every tree, there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days shall there be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. This is crazy, y'all. So this is describing what it's going to be like when this war hits. Y'all remember this movie called the Book of Eli? Yeah, Denzel Washington played in. It's going to be like that. He was a walker going around. You know, there was a few people in the cities, and man, it's crazy. And these people, they're gonna be so few. They're gonna be wandering around because all the wicked are gonna be dead. All the heathen are gonna be destroyed. But the Most High's people, we're gonna be delivered. We're gonna be delivered. Man, this is like a scene out of the Book of Eli, straight up. When you read this, that's what it reminds you of. I mean, it's like to the T. Maybe when they made the Book of Eli, maybe they took these scriptures and they made it just like it said in Ezra. But that is something. These heathens are going to be in such a disarray. They're not going to know what to do. This is getting really good. It says, verse 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. You know, everywhere we go, there's something happening. You know, even when we get in our cars and we drive somewhere, you know, there's no guarantee. But the Most High protects us. And here's one I really want to get to, verse 7. And it says, let me highlight it right quick, because this is a really good one. It says, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Y'all hear that, saints? Do we not see the things that are happening to these heathens? And it's gonna get even better. Remember, we just read in 2nd Ezra 16 that it's gonna be like 10, 2, 3 left to a city. The population of this earth is about 7 billion right now. It's probably a little more than that. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, billions of people are getting ready to die, just like it was in the flood, when only 8 were saved. Billions of people are getting ready to die. And this crazy Christian insanity stuff that people are just, God is love. Oh, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, sometimes I just want to bust them upside the head with some watermelons. I don't understand our people sometimes. Verse 8, read this last one. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Brothers and sisters, we are living in a time where we're going to see the reward of our wicked. And this is something that our forefathers could have wished they would have saw. Can you imagine the power of the earth to the uttermost part of the heaven? There you have it, brothers and sisters. Our people are going to be gathered. The Most High people are going to be gathered from the 4 corners of the earth. And this is going to happen right when this war starts kicking off, because I'm telling you, once the bombs start falling, that's it. That's a wrap. There's no way you can recover from nuclear bomb. You might as well call it a day. And these heathens that are going to be trying to hide in the rocks and the cliffs and under the sea, what have you, they're not going to be able to escape the judgment of the Most High. They're going to be getting bit by some leviathans, get swallowed up whole, trying to hide away on their underground ships and their underground bunkers and what have you. So we're seeing some things, brothers and sisters. We're seeing everything right before our eyes being fulfilled. Everything we've been through as God's chosen people, all the discrimination against us, the hatred, the torture, the persecution, the killings, it's going to all be worth it, saints. Go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 16 and 17. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the shofar, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Elohim, and the dead and Yeshua shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Brothers and sisters, this is going to be a scene that's going to be so surreal. It's going to feel like it's unreal. It's going to feel like a dream. Because we've never experienced nothing like that. Matter of fact, we've never experienced freedom. We don't even know what it's like to be in freedom. We've been in bondage all our lives since birth. You know, this is going to be such an event like never before. Now, Yeshua's coming is going to come to a shock to every single heathen on the face of this earth. Let me tell you why. Go to Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. The Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. I'm going to read verses 1 through 2. It says, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness, I hear that? At the strangeness of his salvation. Talking about the Most High. So far beyond all that they looked for. What are they looking for? They're looking for a white Jesus to come out the sky. Verse 3. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he? This was this nigga that's coming out? What? A black man? Whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. They're not going to believe their eyes, brothers and sisters. The heathens are going to be scared out of their minds. That's why it says that they're going to call upon the rocks and the mountains to fall upon them. Hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. They're going to be scared out of their minds. They ain't going to know what's going on. Wait a minute. This black man's coming back for these niggas? No way. They're going to think it's an alien invasion. And that's why when this war is going on, brothers and sisters, they're going to be fighting each other. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to be fighting each other. And all of a sudden, Yeshua is going to come out of the sky with his angelic hosts. And the whole armies of the earth are going to turn their weapons from shooting themselves against one another. They're going to point them towards the Most High. And that's when all hell's going to break loose. And that's when you're going to see total annihilation of the wicked. It's going to be a sight. It's going to be a sight to see, saints. Brothers and sisters, as the chosen children of the Most High, and as we're seeing all these plagues fall left and right, and we're seeing prophecy unfold right before our very eyes, what is the number one thing that is required of us? Well, I'm going to show you from scriptures. Go to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. And it's simple. It says, Here is the patience of the saint. Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yeshua. That's it, brothers and sisters. It all boils down to these laws, commandments, and statutes. That's what it boils down to. This is why we're still here today, because our forefathers broke Elohim's laws. We would never be in this condition if that would have not happened. We would have been ruling the world right now. We wouldn't be going through all this torture and all this pain and agony and all the stuff that we're going through right now. So, brothers and sisters, I just want to give you some encouragement and let you know that, hey, this thing is on the rise. We are rising as a people, and as we're rising as a people, the plagues are starting to fall, and the heathen are starting to panic. They're getting scared. And it's going to get worse and worse, because once they catch the true wind of who we are, Oh, it's game on. They're coming after us. So be prepared, saints. Get ready. Study hard. Stay in Yeshua. Search his righteousness. We have to do it every day. We have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. So, brothers and sisters, I just want to say it's an honor to be able to serve you all, my Israelite brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. Stay encouraged. Keep your head up. Stay in the Word. And I say shalom.